On today's episode, we're answering the question no, we're not, because I'm on the wrong damn outline.
What I can say is that when you have brand photos, when a business has brand photos, it really showcases that they mean business. So they're investing in their brand, investing in showing up and representing themselves and showcasing themselves, which then in turn will encourage others to invest in them, right? And with brand photos, you may think like, what exactly are brand photos? Brand photos can be pictures of, I don't know, like you may think, is it a picture of the logo, the brand? But what I really specialize in is like personal branding photos. So it's the picture of the actual business owner, right? So the business owner in action. And if you are a product based business, then yeah, you may have just pictures of your product, but I'm going to encourage you to have some product lifestyle images of people using the product and at least having some images of the brand owner holding the product itself so that you can kind of tie a face to the product, right? So you're tying a face to the product or service so that people can really connect with your brand. And the reason why you want those photos is because it'll help to create the connection, which I just mentioned, and then deepening that trust, right? And it makes that business unique because there can be many people doing the same thing, many people doing, like copy, social media strategy, lots of people making lipstick brands, but when you have the image of the people using it and the business owner itself, that's what makes it unique.
And how do you support coaches, course creators, people with a virtual business, not a product in hand? How do the brand photos change and reflect that?
Yeah, so coaches is like actually one of my top types of clients that I help to service. And with coaches, they really want to position themselves as the expert in their field, the thought leader, right? So it's having the versatile batch of images of themselves just doing their thing, right? So it could be as simple as sitting on a couch, leaning forward on the counter, or just hanging out, going for a walk. And you may think, what's so special about that? But that's showcasing them in their element, their confidence, their vibe, really shining through the photo. And with those photos, there's so many things that you can do. It's just so versatile. You can attach it to a launch, you can put graphics on it, you can attach a really intriguing key message to their image if they're a guest speaker, because most of the time, like someone who's a coach, they may be doing a lot of expert talks, right? So they want to showcase their image, their vibe to these large scale audiences.
You said a lot there that just sings to my heart because you and I have had some offline conversations about, and we had one with you and Allison as well, but we talked about the ROI of doing these brand photo shoots. And first of all, there's a whole, I mean, we haven't even talked about the whole get ready for it. I mean, we're not even going to get there probably, but if we can get to that today, great. But I really want to, I want to jump ahead 15 steps and I want to talk about the ROI of coming out of these things because one of the things that you mentioned is a lot of people who are coaches, course creators, like the virtual online sort of business people like ourselves, like Allison and I, we don't have a product to showcase. We are
Mhm.
technically the product. The usage of those photos is great for speaking, like you said, is great for social media. But the other ROI, especially for somebody like me who is a funnel builder, is
Mhm.
the embedding and the use of those pictures as a modality to help increase know, like, and trust and get conversions on landing pages and sales pages. Can you talk a little bit about how that, how a brand photo shoot can convert in that way?
Yes, for sure. So doing a brand photo shoot for, one is upping your social media game, but also for launches is really key. So you may wonder, like, why do I need so many photos of myself? Why can't I just use the same one over and over, right? So imagine that you're a coach or course creator and you're launching, right? So you're inviting people perhaps to a webinar, a challenge, or whatever kind of lead magnet that you may have. And then you want those people to see you constantly, whether you're presenting, inviting them to, I don't know, like consume any sort of content. When your face is in it, then they start to connect with you. And then when they keep seeing you, even in the emails, on the different landing pages, sales pages, and they keep seeing your face, they're like, I feel like I'm starting to get to like know them a little bit more and better. And there starts to be a little bit more personality and attachment to the content being consumed. But imagine that you're consuming something that doesn't have images. It's just empty. It's just words. It's like, who's creating this? It could be anyone, right? So you can see that there's a different feeling between the two scenarios. So for the return on investment, you are literally putting yourself out there. You are staying top of mind, which helps the person to make the decision quicker because they feel like they know you. They feel like they can trust you. And that is really the main kind of decision point. Can I trust this person with what they have to offer? Right? It's like everyone is capable of doing it, but can I trust them? Can I give them all my money and they'll help me with the transformation that I desire? You can help them make that decision by showing up, by allowing them to get to know you. And it may feel a little bit vulnerable, like putting your face out there. Why do I have to do that? But you'd be surprised. And kind of the technique that I do when I do a brand photo shoot is that it's storytelling. So we're creating different story buckets so that we're showing different sides of the business owner, so that there is some variety and interest when you're using these photos and putting them out there.
I had a photo shoot where I had a ton of pictures done. I think I bought all of them and there were like 90. Not all of them are usable, but that's my own personal body image issues. Anyway, um, and I use them. I use them everywhere. I use them in everything. And it was absolutely worth the money because otherwise all I'd have are either those, 6 superposed JC Penney headshots or selfies, right? And so
What do you have against JC Penney overlaid headshots? Just asking for a friend.
there's nothing wrong with it, but when you only have 3 and you really kind of hated your hair. So I was doing something for my husband that did involve a photo shoot that we don't talk about at work, but I had a boudoir shoot. And in order to surprise him, I couldn't come home with my hair all done. So I went to JCPenney and had these headshots done and pretended that's why I was all made up. Okay. So I have these headshots. I did not care about them. They just existed, but they were all I had. And so now I have ones that showcase my personality and showcase my colorfulness and all of that. And I use them everywhere. So that's why I have something against the JCPenney hyperposed headshots. Anyway,
I was just honestly pulling your leg.
I know,
because I knew this. I knew the backstory. I know the backstory.
You sent me off. You sent me off on a whole tangent. And Natalie's like, hi, more of my expertise, please. But the question that I actually have is there a place for those self-taken candid photos, either selfie style or tripod style? Is there a place in our overall brand photography strategy for that?
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. There is a place for everything, for sure. And I just want to put it into perspective, like when you do invest in brand photography for the ROI, like you can essentially make back your investment by converting like one client, right? Especially if you're offering like a high ticket offer. And I always encourage to mix it in with some authentic content, right? So when you're out and about, because part of the strategy of what I put clients through is to plan those story buckets. So then you start to know like what else can I showcase with my photos, right? So it's showcasing the behind the scenes, you starting off your day, like perhaps it's sharing information, teaching your audience. So if you're having a day where you're feeling good about what you look like, or you want to show the behind the scenes, or perhaps one of your connection points with your audience is the love of nature, and you're out walking and you see this amazing nature scene and you just want to capture it, go for it, because that is all about building connection and trust. And you can also kind of use those types of images through your like stories, right? Like short form video content, Instagram stories, for example, because sometimes I'll find that there is like different types of audiences who will consume both. And even in email marketing, there's a ton of people who will put like just a raw image that they've taken with their phone into email marketing and tell a story, right? And it just feels like really real. So definitely mix it up. There is like a spot for everything, but be strategic about it, right? So there is definitely a way to be a little more intentional so that you can connect with your audience. Like if you find that there's certain images that people will reply back on, they're like, oh, then do more of that.
On today's episode, we're answering the question,